So you've been searching for a drone, you finally come across one that looks okay, it's a good price, you want to know if it's worth it, if it gets the job done, or if you should pass and go on with something like the DJI drone. Well, stick around because we'll dive into it. So to quickly get this out the way, is it a good drone? Will it work and get the job done? Yes, it's a great drone. It does exactly what they promised. It has great image quality. It flies really well. It actually flies surprisingly well in high wind. It is light and it works just like you expect any drone to work. Now, is it better than some of the other ones on the market? That's where I'm going to let you decide. So when you get the drone, it comes with all the basic things that you need: a controller, 3 batteries, which is great. Even with a 30-minute flight time, it feels like it goes by so fast. So having more than 1 battery is absolutely necessary. A strap, should you need it. Cables to connect to your phone. Extra propellers, should you crash it, like I've done time and time again. And of course, the drone. Now, one of the things that I really enjoyed about this drone was, as somebody who's flying mostly only DJI drones, it's cool to be able to take a look at what else is out there in the market and be able to decide, are they competing? Are they absolutely dominating the market? Or are there ones that you could use and get by with? And I can honestly say, if you were on the fence between getting this and one of the DJI drones and really you're trying to save a couple bucks, and you're thinking, it looks like it would work, but I'm just unsure. Let me put your mind at ease and let you know, like, if you're saving money and you want to get something that works and works well, look no further. This drone gets the job done. The test footage that you're looking at was when I flew with my sons at the beach, and you could not tell that it was windy at all. Here's some more test footage I took at my house, and again, it looks great. So there's a couple things I think are good. The price, the image quality, as you can see here with these test images, it looks exactly what you expect a drone to look like coming out in 2024, 2025. You're gonna get good 4K image out of it. The application that you use to fly it is solid. The build quality is great. I feel like even just being able to put your phone in it and get you to focus there. So as you can see, it fits in there just fine. It kind of reminds me of like playing on a PSP or something. Like, it's huge, but with my hands and the size of this, I don't mind it at all. The buttons work and they work well. I didn't have any complaints with using them. And if you've never flown a drone, maybe this is your first time flying one, I think you're gonna be absolutely happy with this purchase. Now, let's dive into the things I think they could improve upon. Quick editing wheelie here. I'm actually working on the video now, and I wanted to just update a couple of things that I felt like I have used the drone more. It's been about a month, and I felt like if I didn't include this, then I'm kind of missing out on some of the things that I've liked about the drone, some things I've learned, and some things that I do wish they'd improve. Right off the bat, number one is the drone is still great. It flies amazing. I used it on about 6 client shoots, and it really does get the job done. All that stands, but using it for personal work and just testing versus using it for client work is where you can really see the difference. And like, does it withstand that? Can it be something that you can take on a client shoot? And I would say yes. Now, I did have a couple of hiccups. One of them was, if you've ever flown a drone before, like the DJI ones, if they get unplugged from your phone or whatever you're using to monitor, you can still fly the drone. The drone still connects with the remote, and I found that when my phone got unplugged, I lost all control and the drone basically hovered. And that's not a problem unless you, like me, take off in a place where landing back in that area can be a little hard. And we all know that, like, the return to home feature works pretty good, but it's not perfect. And so there was a time where I took off over some water kind of close to a dock, and I just knew that return to home would not bring it back to the right spot. And so just try to make sure you keep the cord plugged in. I do wish that I could control the drone without a phone being connected to it. And like, I wish the controller just worked. That would have saved me that heart attack of like, oh no, am I going to lose it? The other thing is I have now used a little bit more posts. And so before I went out on days that are pretty decent, but when it was client work, you don't pick the weather. You can't just cancel because of bad weather. And on these days, the sun was pretty bright in darkened areas. And so color grading. If you're somebody who needs to color grade your drone footage, I would say this one kind of falls apart in the shadows, so you might want to overexpose. I haven't really tested that out yet. You don't get a lot of wiggle room with this, and so I do wish that I had a log profile or something that gave me just a little bit more push and pull, maybe if it was 10-bit. But even with those small little hiccups, I still think it's a great drone. I still recommend it. It still gets the job done. And so, yeah, I just wanted to add that in there. Back to the review. Now, with this being a budget drone, there are a couple things that it falls short and some things that I think they really missed the ball on. It could have been something that takes to the next level. For me, I love color grading and having control over my edits, so I wish this had log footage capability where I could shoot in a flat picture profile and really push and pull the colors. The other thing is, it doesn't come with a variable ND filter. I do wish it would have had something like that come with this. I don't feel like the lift would have been that hard, and it would have just been another thing that's really drawn towards people who want to get the best cinematic looking images without overexposing or underexposing. Shooting log, having a variable ND filter or any kind of ND filter would have been cool for this. Another feature I wish it would have had is vertical shooting. Look, if it came at this price and gave me the ability to shoot vertical, I'd say without having ND, without having the ability to shoot log, I'd be okay with it. I'd be able to give those things out knowing that I can still shoot in vertical, get some really good cinematic footage, post it on Instagram, use it for my highlight reels, use it for reels. Like, I'd be happy with it. But because it doesn't have that feature, I'm looking at other drones that do at very similar pricing. And for me, it would be enough for me to go ahead and go with those other drones. Now, in addition to not having that, one of the features that I was really excited to use was the smart capture features. And while they do work, there's one thing that they could have improved upon that I really wish they would have considered. When I'm using the intelligent flight feature, the camera goes back into auto mode, which for me, I like to have full control. So again, you can see this could be an issue. I was trying to capture this lake/lagoon thing here. The camera swapped over to auto and everything looked a little wonky compared to the settings that I already picked out. And so I wish I would have been able to keep those settings even though I was using those intelligent flight modes. With some other drones that I've used, when you're using a flight intelligence mode, you're able to still control the tilt of the gimbal. Unfortunately, that was not the case with this one, because once it went into the intelligent flight mode, it basically just took full control and I was just watching the drone go. I just wish I would have been able to have a little bit more control. Even though the flight path was picked out, I would have loved to be able to tilt the camera up and down to get different things into the scene. And because, let's be honest, these modes aren't always perfect, they can drift a little bit. It's nice to have a little bit of control to tilt back down when I see fit. So all in all, who's this drone for and is it worth it? If you're somebody who's just now getting into drones, maybe you've never flown before, or you're just looking to upgrade from a really big drone to a smaller drone, look no further. You're gonna love it, it gets the job done. On the other hand, if you're somebody who's been flying drones for years, you want something smaller, I might say there might be other options that you're gonna be a little bit happier with and having some control over. Not having that vertical shooting, not being able to shoot log, and not coming with ND filters, for some people who consider themselves professional filmmakers or aspiring filmmakers, that can be a real deal breaker. But again, if you're just starting off, maybe you want to get it for a kid, maybe you're just looking to capture some cool footage while on vacation, look no further. You're gonna love this drone, it gets the job done. And at the price point, I really do think it's unbeatable. Now, all I have for you guys in this one. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.